Just Prince on the beat. Sexy mama, sexy baby. Obite, look how beauty. Did you say, her finance to plenty. She take get it no more. She run, get a papa. You can see her friends them want to be her. They care, she not free. They care, she not for fun. They care, she not free. They care, she not for fun. Girl, you blow my mind. Samba, in the night I can't sleep. My body, you can what's my ear. I'm ready to operate. Put my hair, my people. You for my more speechless, baby. I don't know what to say. You can see your hungriness that in your family. In your family, she will never eat your table. Obite, look how beauty. Did you say, her finance to plenty. She take get it no more. She run, get a papa. You can see her friends them want to be her. They care, she not free. They care, she not for fun. They care, she not free. They care, she not for fun. Girl, you blow my mind. Samba, now you know, the Mongia, now you know, the Mongia, now you know, the Mongia, girl, you blow my mind. Girl, you blow my mind.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia. Good evening, and welcome to our broadcast here at Focus on Liberia. It's Saturday. It is Saturday special here at Focus on Liberia with our understanding guest, Mr. Eminent Emmanuel S. Wettee is in studio. He went to Liberia for Referendum 2020. He's back. And he's in studio with us here at Focus on Liberia. We can't welcome you enough. This gentleman went on a mission. He came back. We want to know what happened. I'm here, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Today, I'm at the headquarters of Focus on Liberia, and I'm happy to be joining you from the headquarters. Dennis, I'm here.
Welcome, Mr. Sien. Happy New Year. I'm glad to have you in studio right here. You came from Studio 8 all the way to the headquarters. We want to say welcome to Atlanta. And in a special way, we want to welcome our guest, Mr. Emmanuel Sonnyboy Wettee. Mr. Wettee, the chairman of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much. It's always good to be home. I consider this station a home, so I'm happy to be back.
And the question I'm asking, as I see you first, when after the referendum, is dual citizenship dead?
We just got started.
All right. We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. This is Focus on Liberia. We're going to be discussing dual citizenship and referendum 2020. As Sonny said, Mr. Wettee was in Liberia to campaign for dual citizenship and be part of the referendum and the process, canvass. He also has some forces that he had to fight against for dual citizenship. He's back. We want to know what's the fate of dual citizenship, how did the referendum go, and what the next steps will be. And Sunni, we have a show.
Dennis, we have a show, and certainly it is with our man Emmanuel as Wettee, who went to campaign for a yes vote on all the proposition in the referendum. Let's get started in no time here with this very important interview with the man Emmanuel as Wettee. Emmanuel, again, we can't welcome you enough. Let's get started with this. Tell us, first of all, before we get into the questioning, how was your trip, my friend?
Well, I tell you, it was very wonderful, very good. I've been in Liberia about 4 times now, and every time I went to Liberia, well, yes, 7 days. This one I spent more than 30 days. It was good. The weather's good, and people good. The environment, home is home. Home is home. I mean, there are some challenges. I'm not going to say everything is good, but there are some challenges. But our better days are ahead of us. And we hope that, our better days are ahead of us.
All right, better days are ahead of all, and I'm sure you are talking about that day when we will all say, this is the glorious land of liberty, but to get our glory, we all must work, and that's why we went there for. But we will get into it and know whether that glory is coming anytime soon. So let's get started with this topic that Liberians around the world are very, very interested in referendum, especially the one that got to do with dual citizenship. So let's get started here. How did the 2020 referendum go? Did it fail or did it pass?
Well, constitutionally, it failed. It didn't meet the constitutional mark, which is 2/3. But I want to say in this public manner to the management staff or Focus on Liberia for helping us out. We can report today that the Liberian people are willing and ready to accept dual citizenship. It's not like when we all started from the beginning. So that in itself is an achievement. We so far of the 15 counties, there were 3 counties that we didn't do well in that impacted our overall threshold to meet the constitutional requirement of 2/3.
And Mr. Wettee, before we go further, what is that constitutional requirement? What was expected and what did you get?
Well, we got enough yes vote, but because of the invalid votes, and I mean because of the weight from one of the county, I don't want to name the county, one of the county, very heavy duty county, dropped us down. The voted complete no on the proposition, and that dropped our number of making us not to reach the 2/3.
All right, let's get it very clear because you eat, drink, and sleep this thing. So let's say 100 persons are voting.
Yes.
When you say you need 2/3, you mean you need 2/3 of that 100 to be able to pass.
Yes.
So if you have a lot of invalid votes, let's say you have a lot of invalid, even though you have 40 yes votes, but because the invalid vote are 50 and you have no to be 10, you still didn't reach the 2/3.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Well, I mean, if we look at the map, I mean, our performance was very, very good. We didn't do well in one county that dropped our number, and that was a very significant number. That particular county on the overall general election, they are the second largest. They are the second largest voting bloc, and we didn't perform well in that county, and that dropped the number from that county impacted the overall calculation that made us not to reach the 2/3.
Thank you, Emmanuel Wettee. We will get to the results county by county. We'll display them on the screen, and we'll have some questions for you so that our viewers can get to know how you were able to perform in all the counties if possible. But before we can get to that, we want to know the NEC, the National Election Commission, that body that conducted the referendum. What will be your evaluation of the job that it did? That's one question. And the other part is, in terms of releasing the result, can you say you are satisfied or were satisfied with the manner in which the results were being released?
Yes, but before I go there, before I answer your question, I want to express my thanks and appreciation to the leadership and membership of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship and our partner, Liberian Advocates for Change, for their support, and all of the people that supported our activities in Liberia financially, morally, and spiritually. We want to say thank you for what you did for us. And because of you, we have more reason to know that dual citizenship is within the matter of reach. Now, coming to that, and let me say thanks to my president, Vama Fofana, and the leadership of EULA for their support. I want to make sure I spare that out, and the Liberian Advocate for Change, and all of those in the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. Now, coming to that, yes, I can admit to you that the elections on the 8th of December were free, fair, and transparent. Let me say it for the record, and let me repeat myself. It was free, it was fair, and was transparent. On this show, I also participated in the November 3rd election in the United States, which have the electronic process. In Liberia, we don't have computers, but I was very impressed by the organization of the Electoral Commission. First thing, when a voter comes, they look on the roster, they will look for the name and the picture. If you see your name and your picture, you walk into the hall and there's they call them precinct staff. A precinct staff, you meet a precinct staff and you show your ID card. The first person will locate you in the book. And if you are there, they will mark you and give you your ballot. When you get the ballot, you will go to a cover, where you will go and vote. After you finish voting, somebody will take your card and punch your card to indicate that you have voted, and you will drop your ballot into the boxes. Now, there were 3 boxes. There was one blue, one green, and one pink. Except in District Number 9 and in Sando County, only those 2 places had 3 boxes because they were voting for representative.
Yeah.
The other places only had 2. So they had the green and the pink. The pink was for the referendum. So when you go in and get your ballot, you just drop it into the appropriate place. So you had 2 ballots in areas where they were not voting. Outside of District Number 9, you get 2 ballots. You get one for the senator and one for the referendum. In District Number 9, you get one for the senator, referendum, and representative. And you will do everything and record your ballot, and you will put it right into the box, and you just walk away.
And that to tell you you said, according to you, free, fair, and transparent. Why did the result for the referendum take so long?
Well, and this is what happened. People didn't follow the timeline. According to the official timeline of the Election Commission, the result of the referendum was to be announced on the 23rd of December. But you know that the conflict in Bopolu, Nimba County, and Grand Crew. So these places had to be resolved before the official announcement come out. So they were just gradually as they get it come out. But according to the timeline, the official announcement of the referendum will be December 23rd. But it was made after December 23rd because of the conflict they have to resolve in Nimba and other places.
What I mean is the elections for senator and representative were announced long before the referendum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The official timeline to announce the referendum was on the 23rd of December. So it was 1 week after the time they announced the official announcement of the senatorial candidates. That was the official timeline. If you go back and check, you will see. So that's what happened. That's what the gap.
Okay, so talking about the referendum, you said there was delay as well. about the date for the official result to be released, talking about the 23rd, and that it happened because there were issues in Bopolu and Grand Cru County.
Yes.
Okay, have those issues been resolved?
Well, the last time I checked, Bopolu result is not up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still going on, but the other counties where there has been no issue, the result have been published. So
if Grand Cru result is not up yet, does it mean Grand Cru is still having some issues?
Yeah, I think there's some issue going in Grand Cru. I think so. That's why it has not been published.
All right. Earlier you said that on the overall performance in your advocacy and also going down to ensure a yes vote, according to you, you did extremely well, even though you did not get what you went there for, but you are saying you did extremely well. So let's look at the results, county by county. Let's try to put some result on the screen here quickly, so we can see whether what you're saying is actually the case. Now, right now we are looking at River G, and then if you are close to the result, please read the yes and no result for River G and see how the group did on this referendum.
Looking at River G right now. Sorry, we got to do that again.
Yeah.
Looking at River G, we have the yeses, right? For let's go to dual citizenship bill. That's the number one. Yes, we have 2,116. If I will read that like this from the NEC, I would say 2116. And then for no, we have 1,423. The invalid vote, 5,114, making it a total of 8,653. That's for dual citizenship. So in River G, we see that yes vote for all. So in River G, the yeses have it.
And Mr. Wettee, before you come in, we see that the results have also been color-coded. We see that in River G, the results yet, the yes, they had a blue column. Does it suggest that the propositions in River G all got a yes?
Yes, that's correct.
And so the question I was asking earlier, based on your evaluation of these results, you won in River G.
That's correct.
And what will you contribute that to? Why did you do a good job in River G? That's why. What's the reason?
Well, some of the senators like Community Wilson and other people, and we had a radio show in those areas. That helped. That helps a lot. You know, that helped the radio show. And some of the senators committed the time to campaign on the issue. As a matter of fact, we did extremely well in the Southeast. The Southeastern line, we did extremely well. So just go ahead with the county by county and you see what we're talking about.
Okay,
so people can see the actual number. I think you are doing the right thing. Let the audience see the actual number. I think that's the right thing you are doing.
Okay, right now we are about to show you Bombing County.
Let's do Mangibi first.
Yeah, let's do Mangibi. Let's see how you did in Mangibi. Let's see how you did in Mangibi here. So Mangibi County, according to the result here and the way you describe the reading of the result, we see that all the yes for proposition, they are all in blue column. So again, you won in Mangibi County, meaning that you got more yes vote on each proposition compared to the no vote.
That's correct.
Again, that is a win for you.
Yes.
All right, but the question I have here is that the invalid vote, though you got more yes vote compared to no, but the invalid votes seems to be more. What is responsible, or what are the issues that you can attribute to all these invalid votes?
Yeah, let me
do right.
Yeah, what actually happened? You know, the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship was going against the collaborating political parties. The 4 collaborating political parties. They actually were very successful in confusing the whole thing. First, they asked their members to boycott the referendum. They asked their members to vote no. And so the confusion was just all over the place what to do. And my conclusion is that since they were driving, because this whole election, they won most of this
Right.
most of the members were just kind of confused. And I want to believe that that's where the invalid vote really came from, because the collaborating political party were very, very successful in confusing the people, and that caused the whole issue to happen. And
so, Emmanuel, where you say that you missed an opportunity there for not engaging them, for them to be able to campaign for a yes vote. I mean, how come you couldn't succeed in getting all of them, if possible, to campaign for a yes vote?
And Mr. Wettee, before you answer that, because that's a strong charge you are laying on the feet of the CPP, where is the evidence?
Okay, I mean, the evidence is that CPP campaign against the referendum. That's the evidence. And that's the evidence. CPP, you see, it's good that let us discuss this thing. First thing I want to say to you guys is that the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship, we did place a call to Chairman Cummins, that look, we actually need the support of CPP. When I spoke with Chairman Cummins, he told me to write a letter. We wrote to asking the support of CPP to support the referendum, the Proposition 1. And there were some senators who have even committed themselves to us that, look, during the time of campaign, they were actually going to campaign for Proposition 1. But what actually happened is that when CPP began to change the mind on the proposition, and this is my own analysis and what I got, is that the issue of the tenure, the issue of the tenure, that, look, most of the people believe that if the proposition on the tenure of the president was going to be changed, going to be very successful, they believe that President Weah was going to run for the third time because of the incident that took place in Guinea and in Africa. So what the CPP...
Is that true? Is that true?
Is that true? I mean, there's no truth into that, but that political season. So anything will fly. So what happened is that CPP was able to say, look, hey, since we are not in the position to see anything, we do not like the entire referendum, and all of the apples in the basket are not good. So including ours, we just went down the drain.
So Mr. Wettee, are you saying Mr. Cummins, for instance, Mr. Boakai, for instance, or Darius Dillon, who was running, did they openly campaign against Proposition 1?
Yes, they did. They did. Darius Dillon did. I was in Morovia. I was in Morovia when he called the press conference. He openly requested the people of Montserrat County to vote no on Proposition 1. And the interesting thing is this, that we all should understand. The entire referendum, the proposition on the referendum was not made by President Weah. It was a law that was passed by the lawmakers that included both CPP lawmakers and CDC lawmakers. They're the one actually created all the proposition. But when the campaign was coming up and there was miscommunication, disinformation, CPP took alarm not to support the referendum. And all of the candidates followed through.
But in River G, that was not the case. The CPP candidate won, but River G voted yes to all.
That's true. But we ourselves were in there asking people to vote yes. So we both were campaigning. Now, if you go to Montserrat, if you click on Montserrat, you will see. You see, when you are in the games of election, numbers matter. You understand? Numbers matter. So the numbers that we got from the smaller counties could not upset the numbers from the bigger counties.
All right, let's go back to our screen and look at those results again, because numbers matter, as you say.
Yeah.
And so this is a numbers game. Bombing. It's a small county.
Yeah.
So again, we're looking at bombing, and we see that the no column is all red. So that means bombing county rejected all the proposition.
Yes, bombing county rejected all the proposition. And if you look at the numbers, we got 4,000 4,867. And the no vote, it was 7,288. So you can see that that's a big gap.
So, His Eminence, I know you are saying that the CPP was not of help. You talked to them, but you said they opened a campaign against the referendum.
Yes.
Does it mean that the government or candidates and the government is campaign for the referendum instead? If so, tell me the evidence that they did a good job in campaigning for a yes vote on the referendum.
Let me say for fact. I can say this for fact. Yes, CPP voted against the referendum, but I can tell you for fact I never saw her, those candidates from CDC campaigning for the referendum when I was in Morovia.
And are you disappointed?
And
are you disappointed?
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I am disappointed. I am disappointed that CDC candidates, you know, were not advocating for a yes vote on the referendum. I am disappointed. I'm disappointed both ways. I'm disappointed in CPP that supported the resolution, but when they gave the referendum, if I say I mean we. That's I hope I make it clear. It's me, we in advocacy. That's what I mean. So it's not that I mean So we are disappointed that CPP signed on and later on dropped the ball. CDC that the president we are identifying himself with all the positions. Did not campaign. The senators, the representatives, the candidates were not campaigning for the referendum.
And Mr. Wettee, does it mean that because the referendum was not as important as the senatorial election, so that's where the emphasis was placed? Could that be?
That's true. The emphasis was placed on the camp. Everybody was trying to protect themselves. But equally so, we had a referendum that the president attached himself on. And it was. I think it was going to be very good for those candidates that were riding on the president's name to campaign for the referendum. It didn't happen.
We are showing Cape Mount, and Cape Mount is all blue, meaning they voted for the referendum.
Yeah, Cape Mount, yeah, voted yes for the referendum. That's correct.
And His Eminence, looking at the results, when we look at the results county by county, we saw that there were more yes votes. Looking at the blue column and the red, except from what you just told us, the bigger counties that had the huge number of voters voted no. And that is how come you were not able to reach the 2/3 required for all the proposition to pass.
Yeah,
so my question here is, looking at the results overall, can you say the result were able to offer some hope that any other further advocacy for, any referendum for that matter, you're going to reach the 2/3, or completely hopelessness?
No, in fact, because of the result, we got more hope. We are closer to our goal than before. That the Liberian people now have agreed that dual citizenship will have to be resolved. The Liberian people have agreed on that. So if you look at these numbers, look at Bump County. Let's go to Bump County. You see Bump County. Bump County voted 13,000. Look at Bump County. If you go to Lofa County, we did Lofa. So let's go to Basso, Grand Basso County. We're taking the Grand Basso County. See, we got about 3,000. So what I'm seeing here is that based on the results, we have more reason to believe that we are closer. And we have already learned our own mistakes. We are preparing for the next referendum that will be here either next year or 2022 or 2023. We are getting ready for that very soon. In fact, we are starting this year preparing for the next referendum to make sure that dual citizenship becomes the law of the land. So the result gave us more reason. What can you say? That there are about 15 counties in Liberia and only 3 voted against you? Go to Monserrato. Despite the fact that Monserrato didn't vote for us, let's take Monserrato and see.
Yeah. We're gonna get Monserrato on the screen yet. It's coming up, so go ahead.
Yeah, look at Monserrato.
Mhm.
Monserrato voted no,
Mhm.
but the no vote was 97,089, and
Yeah.
the yes vote was 96,356.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's about it gets a difference of 1,000 or plus, So that's not bad. I mean, that's the area that was very hot. Now, if with the number for Monserrato, if Nima was even going to be closer to that, we're going to be much better. But that's the
because in Monserrato County, out of the 8 propositions, only 2 were rejected based on the numbers that we have.
yes.
And actually, the 6 got a yes vote on the average.
That's correct.
All right, now we are showing Nimba is all red.
Yes, and if you look at our elections, Nimba, I think Nimba, I don't think, but Nimba is the second largest to Monserrato. So when Nimba voted all no, that's where our trouble came from.
And also bombing voted all no.
Yeah, but bombing number was not that significant. The number,
right.
Yeah, the number was not that significant.
And talking about Nimba, you have for dual citizenship 17,000 plus yes, and for no you have 21,000 plus.
Yeah, so you see the gap. So there is no way you can reach to tear with that kind of gap.
For the reduction of the term of office for the speaker, 17,000 yes, 19,000 no. And then the change in the election, even the change in the election date, at least it was close 17,000, kind of around there. But reduction of the term of the office of the president, 18,000 yes, no 21,000 or 21.5K.
And His Eminence, before you come in, again, I want to bring the issue of the invalid votes. I know you can say the government or candidates did not campaign, as well as the CPP candidates did not campaign for the referendum, but don't you think that it is because most of the citizens didn't know what to do? There was not a good civic education or voter education done on the referendum that is responsible for the huge number of invalid votes, and there where you got nailed in the coffin.
And hold on, Mr. Wettee, let me read the invalid votes again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes is 17,165, no 21,217, and invalid vote 71,989, like 72,000.
Right.
Invalid vote for the change of the election date, 75,000. Yes. Invalid vote for the shortening of the NDC to year complaint, 76,000. Reduction of the presidents and vice president, 70,000. Yeah. Senator, 71,000. 72,000 for the pro tempore. 73,000 for representative. 74,000. Yeah. So I just want to.
And all those numbers triple out of the yes and the no vote. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The opposition party were very successful in causing, making people to say, okay, don't vote.
But Mr. Wettee, why only in Nimba we see this, and you are saying it's the opposition?
No, the number. You gotta understand, Nimba were very tense. Nimba was very tense. It was one of the places outside of Monserrato and Grand Bassa where the focus were. People in that place were concerned about the candidates. So I don't think that they were actually focusing on the referendum.
Right. And CPP lost in Nimba. So how can you say CPP is responsible?
No, I'm saying on the overall Irish. I'm not saying on the overall Irish. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And His Eminence.
And let me say for the record, CPP and CDC are responsible for the very large number of invalid votes. I want to be very clear on that. I'm not blaming CPP alone. The only thing I'm saying is that lawmakers in CPP that committed themselves to vote, campaigning for President One, they didn't do it. They're on CDC side.
Like who?
Well, I don't want. Let me just leave it like that, and just for the benefit of everything, because if if you start pointing finger at people, we need them tomorrow. You see, the advocates that we do
already, Mr. Wettee?
Huh?
You pointed fingers already, so finish
I
it.
didn't call names. I didn't call names. I didn't call the senator name.
All right.
Okay, so let me come vote. CDC and CPP are the combination of what they did responsible for the invalid vote. I mean, that's my. I could be wrong.
Did you see any ballot from the to see really what was this invalid when it came to the referendum?
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are discussing the referendum, especially Proposition 1 on dual citizenship. Our guest, Mr. Emmanuel Wettee.
Yeah, the ballot was looking. The ballot something like this. But they were okay. They were like this, and you could just you see the little box here,
right?
Yeah, you could just state whether yes or no, and yeah, that's how it was looking. But
so did you see any invalid vote for the referendum? What they were doing? Were they marking both yes and no, or what was it look? What was it like?
Yes, the invalid vote, people were just marking the places, and that was they qualify being invalid. You are just supposed to enter either yes or no. You can't enter both. You can't.
Did you see an example of what exactly what they were doing?
Oh yeah, doing the countings, doing the counting.
And what was it like?
Somebody, I mean, it was just interesting. It was getting somebody enter both yes and no.
It's Emmanuel. I got information too that most of the ballots were marked invalid because they were never marked at all. In other words, most of the voters, they never had interest, so they left it blank for the most part, and that's how you got most of the invalid votes.
That's true. Some people, because I can tell you the ballot was very long. I mean, something like this, and if you are voting for representative, you have two. I mean, if you are voting for senator and the representative, you have two of these long boxes. So some people just went ahead, and that's true. People just voted for the senator and for the referendum. They just dump, just put it in the box. That's what they did.
It's eminent. There were many calls for this referendum to be postponed. Many civil society organizations, many lawyers in the country. I know a group called the Grassroots Alternative Movement. They even wrote the legislature. They were, talking about the Senate as well as the House of Representatives. They send, press release it out there. And not only that group, many other prominent Liberians, even including Gloria Musu-Scow, call on the government, hey, if you go ahead, the election, the referendum will be treated as a side issue. It will be more like you are wasting this money. So postpone it, do it next year. Don't do it when you are conducting a major election, because when you do so, the candidates you might be depending on to help campaign for this thing will not do it. They will only be campaigning for their seats. And that is one of the reasons today we have the disappointing result. You think they were right to call, and should the government have listened?
No. The government has the constitutional duty to execute the law. The Supreme Court made a decision. The House, the lawmaker passed the law for the election to go on. It was the government responsibility to make sure it go on and let the people have their will. I mean, look at this thing. People voted. So how they voted? Those that voted yes and those that voted no, how they voted? They got some education. The question is how much education is another thing. But I think the government was right to carry on the referendum. The people exercised the franchise. The people spoke. We can come back and revisit, but to say denying the people the right to vote, I don't think it was right. And I think I agree with the government that they allow the people to go ahead and vote. Yes, we got the result that we got. We all will learn from it. Advocacy is not an event, it's a process. These things will not just happen overnight. We all learn from it and proceed. But you have a decision from the Supreme Court. You have a resolution from both House and Senate. How will you not execute that? You have the constitutional duty to carry on that. What happened? Go ahead.
So, Mr. Wettee, where did you fall short, or where did you go wrong as the advocate for this dual citizenship bill? Because others are saying, Mr. Wettee, we told you so.
Oh, I can tell you, yes, we we never had the resource like in Nima. I want to say you one thing that President Don Dennis, who's the president of the Nima Association, he did extremely well. Mr. Dennis made calls. You know, I went on a couple of radio shows in Nima. Mr. Dennis made sure everything was fine. But the will of the people is the will of the people. You know, we can do what we can do, but what the people say, we're all going to respect it. Yes, what we fall short is that we too should have started a year ago. You know, put things into place. So that's that. Yeah, we went back and looking at where we made mistakes. Yes, we did. But to say that the Supreme Court made a decision and the lawmaker have passed the resolution to come out and say it should stop, we didn't see it that way. It happened. It happened. We had look. There will be a referendum next coming 2022 or 2023, and we are going to be prepared for that. We learned our mistakes, and we are now ready for the next round.
Maybe you agree with me. Educating the voters on how to vote on the referendum was not done. In fact, the symbols, I believe,
I agree with you. I'm not going to argue with that.
Because when the Supreme Court came in with its decision, it was 5 days to the referendum that, hey, instead of combining, the proposition and, combining them to 3, you have to make it 8. And so in a split of 5 days, they have to come up with the symbols. They have to come up with the text. They didn't have time to tell the citizens, hey, these are the symbols, these are the text accompanying these symbols, and this is why that was never done. So it shouldn't be.
Let's get it. These symbols were made. These are the symbols. These symbols were not done overnight. The Supreme Court said you can't bundle everything together in a tree. Make it all one. I mean, make it individual thing by themselves. So I agree with you. I agree with you that the education, the awareness was not done sufficiently. I agree with you. But the question is, what is sufficient awareness? You know, what is sufficient awareness? But in any case, we learn from our mistakes. We learn from what happened.
What were your mistakes?
Our mistakes is that we didn't do enough awareness. We because of resources, education, we should have had in each county, personnel there. What we did, considering our resources, we only have radio show. Like in Lofa, we have a couple of radio shows. In Maryland, we have a couple of radio shows because we never had the financial resources to physically be there. We were on a lot of shows, and guess what happened? We had an impact. We didn't physically go to River G. We just talked on the radio show. We didn't go to Maryland. We didn't go to Bassa. So what we did had an impact on, and that's why we had a better result, even though it didn't give us the 2-10. But we learned from what happened. Next time around, we're going to have coordinators in each of the county. We're going to have a special team in each of the county, and we're going to make sure that the next referendum that's going to happen, it will not have all of these apple in the basket. We're going to be only advocating on dual citizenship. The other ones, we're going to make sure they are not part of the thing. And that's what one of the mistakes that we came from, that you have it. So look, to really admit, the Liberian people have agreed and they are ready to accept dual citizenship. It's just that our good apple.
Mr. Wettee, it's good to be optimistic, but let's be clear.
Our good apple was put up in a bad apple basket. That's all.
Lionel or Frederick is asking, so the referendum for dual citizenship was rejected? This is the question. So let's be clear. Be clear on that before we move forward.
Okay, Lana, the result on Provision 1, we didn't meet the constitutional threshold of 2-10, but we got enough yes vote.
In other words, Proposition 1, dual citizenship was rejected by the Liberian people.
Again, we didn't receive the 2-10 vote, but the Liberian people, our number are very encouraging.
That is the voice of His Eminent Emmanuel S. Wettee. He has been an advocate and stay an advocate for dual citizenship for all Liberians around the world.
In short, Dennis, yes, it didn't pass.
All right. Yeah, that's I don't know what took you so long to say yes, it was rejected. And
no, it was not rejected. You see, that's the word you want me to use.
That's the question the man asked you, and that means that's the word the man wanted. But let's go forward here.
It was rejected.
On this criticism of you, meaning you, Emmanuel, as a person, and also your team, especially those of you in the ranks and file of EULA, many EULA members said that, well, the original dual citizenship proposal is now what you guys managed to get on, the battle for referendum, and that has been their criticism, and that you guys did not go into the referendum, as a unit or with one agreement, and that is what contributed to the defeat or the rejection of these propositions. But I want to give you the opportunity.
Yes.
Those who have criticized you, do you have any criticism for them?
Let me say something. Those that criticize or give us more strength.
Okay.
In fact, they have created the next level for dual citizenship for us. What they are saying. Let me get back to something. And one of the reasons why I led this your platform is that you ask questions that are helpful to our advocacy. In 2012, December 2012, we met in Washington, D.C. Diaspora Liberians across the globe met in Washington, D.C. We developed 4 strategies, 4 plans, 4 platforms. These 4 platforms are parallel to each other. One, ask for executive order from the president of Liberia, so the government of Liberia will not execute the alien and nationality law. That's one. Next is to go to the lawmakers and ask them to repeal the 1974 alien and nationality law. The third one is to go to the Supreme Court and question and challenge the constitutionality of the alien and nationality law. The fourth one is what? National referendum. These 4 plans are parallel to each other. This trip was just a referendum. And the restriction, we agree. We have said didn't like the restriction. We have said it 101 times on your show. Many times we said we don't like the restriction, but we believe that it provided an opportunity for our children that were born outside of Liberia to be citizens, and we're going to come back and clean up the issue in the next election, which will be 2023. Some of our friends said, no, let's scratch the whole thing and start from the beginning. And we said, gentlemen, according to our plan for 2012, we need to go on with the referendum. It will fail, fine, it will don't, but it was a decision made in 2012.
Right. Mr. Wettee, I want to disagree with you because I have spoken to you many times on this referendum issue of dual citizenship. And when it came to right now, you are saying you have 4 parallel plans going forward. But when we asked you that why didn't you try to repeal the alien nationality law, you said the Constitution was the major one. So even if you repeal it and not done in the Constitution, it will still come back to bite you. So the referendum was the most appropriate way to go.
You are absolutely correct. I said that the referendum is the constitutional definition of citizenship. The other one that we would do is just to help the president. Yes, the referendum is the only one that will change Article 28 of the Constitution.
So why you want to do them now? I mean, if they are not really viable.
No, what we're seeing here is that we started everything. That's what I'm saying. The 4 plans are parallel. We have been doing everything. It just recently people saw the referendum. They didn't see us submitting a document to the lawmakers to change the alien and nationality law. We did that under President Eden Johnson. We submitted a document to the Liberian Senate and the House. We did that. It was published and all. But because of the political nature of the referendum, that's what everybody looking up to. But
Mr. Wettee, we have so many questions here and comments that we want to start putting on the screen very shortly. We also have our phone lines open. There are many people asking and begging us that they want to ask you some questions. I believe some of them want to say, "We told you," and you still didn't listen to us. But this is a question from Gago Mue, because Gago has been associated with you. Like I said, please ask Chairman Wettee, how much did he raise to educate folks on the referendum? This was a major campaign and they took it lightly. Gago, there's a special word you said they. I don't know where you're living yourself, but go ahead, Mr. Wettee.
Well, our financial team will be making a financial report and to the appropriate organs and organization, and it will be spelled out how much we raised on that. So prior to me leaving, there was a pre-report made, and there will be a full report made. It will be made to EULA and all the partners involved.
Okay, Mr. Saki White said, because you said CDC people were not canvassing, he said McGill supported the referendum and openly campaigned for it openly, and I think he meant arrogantly.
I did not say. Let me repeat myself. I said the candidates, the CDC candidates. That's what I said. The senatorial candidate of CDC didn't campaign for the referendum, while the candidates from CPP were campaigning against it. I want to be very clear on that.
All right, one more comment and then a question, and then we go to our phone lines. Jackie Sire said there was no coordination or targeted education of the voters. The overwhelming number of the invalid votes show the confusion. Besides Monserrato, did EULA visit any other county to state its case or to conduct referendum training?
Yes, Uvela Magibi.
Mr. Wettee, Magibi is right there. Did you go to Nimba?
I'm talking. We want the Magibi. We want the Grand Bassa. Those are the two counties. Physically, we went also at Monserrato. Also, I appear on a lot of radio shows in Nimba County, in Bomb County, in Lofa County, in the southeastern region. There are a lot of shows that I appear on.
All right. Let's bring in one of our callers. And this is teacher, this is Goya. This is you are live.
How are you doing, Mr. Jai and Anthony and Emmanuel Wettee?
How are you doing? Merry Christmas.
For the hard work that you put to do for dual citizenship. I have two pushbacks, if you guys will allow me, and I hope I don't take a lot of your time.
Okay, hold on, Sisse. Hold on, Mr. Wettee, can you hear him clearly?
Yeah, I can hear him, yeah.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Goya.
Okay, the first one I want to push on is the interpretation of the data. The Emmanuel is saying that the dual citizenship proposition passed in every county except few counties. And I'm here to push back to say that's not true. Because 2/3 is 66%. That's what 2/3 is, 66%. And every county, and I'm looking at the data, I'm looking at the numbers. In Grand Cayman County, the total valid votes was 8,158. The total yes vote was 4,406. That is 54%. That is, you got a plurality, but you didn't get 2/3. If you go to Lofa County, you got 59%. You got a plurality, you didn't get 2/3. If you go to Marquee, you got 52%. You got a plurality, you didn't get 2/3. If you go to Bone County, you get 53%. In Grand Bassa, you got 54%. In Riverside, you got 54%. In Silo, you got 64%. Still not in 2/3. In Grand Juliet, you got 62%. In River G, you got 59%. In Maryland, you got 59%. In every county, the proposition failed. If you pick any one county and say this is the one we want to look at, it's still in every county. You got a plurality in some of the counties, but it is not passed by 2/3 in any of the counties. So let's discuss the number, let's be fair, and let's be right. Because when you were speaking about it, I was doing the math in my head, and I'm looking at it. None of these places that you reach 66%. That's the question. So the proposition failed in every county.
Okay, let me say.
Hold on, it's Emmanuel line.
Yeah, I'm trying because that numbers we're dealing with.
Yeah. Mr. Goya, are you done?
Go ahead. hold on. Let me tell you the numbers. I can hold on.
You know, it's good that we're talking math here, and since that your era and my era, that's very good. So let's go on, Professor. I said that we got yes vote, but it was not enough. Due to the invalid vote, it was not enough to reach the 210. That's what I said. I said the yes vote encouraged us for the next round. Just listen, sir. Just listen.
All right.
That's what I said. I said the yes vote was not enough to make 210. That's what I said. Now so we can talk the numbers. I am saying to you, I got yes vote. However, it was not enough to make the 210. I mean, that's what the number says. Are you going to argue that? Are you going to argue that?
Mr. Wettee, let's be fair here. I listened to the entire conversation. As a matter of fact, you pointed out that a particular county, or at least 2 counties, were the reason for the defeat of the referendum. Because and so that implies that you were trying to speak in that the passing all of the other counties.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said in everything.
When you started you said there was a county.
No.
When you started this program, you said there was a county that voted against the proposition, and you didn't want to leave the county from the beginning. And then when you started going into the numbers, you started to look at there were 3 counties that voted against it. My point I'm making here is let's be fair to the people that are listening. Yes, you got a plurality of votes in each county, but no, it did not pass in any one county.
Thank you.
Sir, let me just comment. I said again and again that in each of the counties that we won, the votes were not enough to make 210. That's what I said.
That is his problem. You are saying winning. He's saying you did not win, because the only way you can say that it's a win if you get to third. Getting more yes vote compared to no vote is not a win.
We're talking about the numbers. I am saying that the yes vote we got it, but based on the invalid vote and other circumstances, it didn't reach the 210.
Thank you. I think it's a matter of semantics, Mr.
Very good.
And Mr. Wettee, I think you're also trying to. It's good to be optimistic.
Yeah.
But a win for this referendum means you have 2/3.
2/3, yeah. Or so what is the percentage? Is that 65?
66.
Yeah, but equally so, advocacy is not an event. It's a process.
It's not what to say.
What constitutes a win is 2/3, or I think 66.6%. It's not just no yes vote, or no vote. That's
for him. And what we are saying, the yes vote gave us the opportunity and encouragement to move forward. So,
all right.
As far as we are concerned, it's a win for us, and we can argue that. It's a win for us.
That is a win for your advocacy, but not necessarily a win for the proposition.
That's correct. I agree with you, sir. You're absolutely correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goya. What the chairman is saying is he's not talking mafia, he's talking advocacy.
And you are talking mafia, but thank you.
And all he's concerned of is less than or greater than.
Yeah.
He's not talking.
As long as the eminence willing to lead that camera and say that for him a win is not Thursday, therefore we interpret it differently, I'm good. But I just didn't want that to stay hanging out there.
All right.
I said, Professor.
Thank you.
Professor, I come to the class, the math class.
All right. And based on that too, Mr. Joka is saying if a proposition fails to receive 2/3 vote, it fails or it is rejected. Mr. Wettee, I think the people want you to really mention that this is rejected. I think if you acknowledge that you were beaten bigly, maybe other people will join you. But it seems that
you have to understand what we came from. We have made a lot of progress, and we cannot erase that. We have to recognize that. and we have a next round to go on. So what we achieve in itself is victory. The fact that we have a 13 or 11 counties to line up with our view, it's okay.
And Gakon Moa is writing here saying you also said it performed well in all other counties but 2. So they are still holding you accountable, but we got
I said that we perform. Now the word well is relative. What you consider well may not be what I consider well. As far as I'm concerned, we got a yes vote. And that's well to us. I mean, what do you tell people of Bon County? How about the people in Lofa? How about the people in Bassa? The vote counts. And we need to recognize that.
All right. We have another caller here. Let's take this caller quickly. Go ahead, caller. Your name, where you joining us from?
Hello, my name is Josiah Jokai. I'm calling you from Danbury, Connecticut.
Go ahead, Josiah.
Okay, I just called to say thank you for the show as usual, and the conversation is interesting. I'd like to say thanks to Wettee for the contribution of his organization, continuously to support the democratic process. But specifically on the outcome of the referendum, I think what we should be discussing here is a collective goal of whether or not the referendum results will positively impact the ongoing democratization process. And for me, the answer is no. The answer is no, because one of the key objectives of Wettee's advocacy was to have a dual citizenship law in place, and that didn't work. So my call to him will be to just indicate, yes, it was a failure, and let's chart the course on how we can make this work in the future in a better way to even improve the proposition so that it's lifted. It leaves the stages into a better position to give a better, to strengthen the role of Liberians who are supposed to benefit that law. The second thing I like to say is that the overall organization of the referendum has serious issues. The NEC had financial constraints, resources were not provided on time. The NEC did not have the requisite timing that it needed to be able to do all that it could in keeping with the timelines. You did not deploy you did not acquire the justice on time. You did not deploy them on time. You did not deploy. You did not train and deploy the civic educators, the monitors on time, and you had legal issues as well. The role of the Supreme Court that was not clear in her ruling and made it optional for the Elections Commission. There was late development of symbols that were not effectively communicated to the people. The resolution itself had a confusion as interpreted in the official gazette that governed the holding of the referendum. In the official gazette, there was confusion. You had 8 articles that were passed in the resolution, but then they were condensed into 3 propositions. The president and some of the officials of government started running with those 3 propositions. Liberians started trying to pay some attention to those 3 propositions. At the 11th hour, the Supreme Court mandated through her ruling that the Elections Commission, in keeping with Article 92, make sure that each of the propositions stand on its own. Each of the article rather stands on its own. As opposed to what they had initially prepared. And that information was not disseminated in keeping with Article 92 as well, because it requires the government to effectively disseminate the information to the Liberian people through the information services. That did not happen. So much went wrong. Civil society organizations, including ours, we call on the government through an official means. We wrote the legislature because of all of these issues, that have compounded the process, a convoluted process for that matter. It is, it was important for them to postpone it. And they just took one resolution to postpone it.
Thank you, Mr. Joker.
Not because they voted. So much went wrong, and that's why the results of the referendum are what we have. We didn't arrive here by accident. This was something that we knew. We knew that was not going to succeed because of the convoluted process.
So just quickly before you leave us, so what is the way forward?
The way forward is for the government to begin to institute measures for the holding of, a referendum with a single issue, to adopt a new constitution that will also carry a proposition towards citizenship that will be much, much better than what we have now. I think it's going to work. We all need to work collectively to show that. And our advocacy, in addition to people like Wettee and other people, should be calling for that in a collective approach so that we can succeed in instituting a new constitution that will improve governance in our country.
Thank you so very much.
And, before you go to the next question, can I just reply to him?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to you for your idea. We already started. We review everything. Very soon we'll be coming up with an official statement how we'll be approaching the next referendum, which will take place in 2022 or 2023. And those mistakes that we made, we'll correct the mistakes, and these things will not be repeated. Yes, I know everybody is calling on me to say I should admit that it failed. I want to say to you, this is advocacy. We came a step forward and want to take that, review it, and move to the next one. We have interpretation, whether it's failure, it's rejection, but as far as we are concerned, we have come a mighty long way, and we appreciate our stand, and we appreciate those voters that voted for us. And we'll correct those mistakes that we made to improve and work with your group and other civil organizations to move forward. But we want to say for this manner that we are not in the position to say it was rejected, it was this. We want to appreciate everything, and we'll correct our mistakes going forward.
Amara Toure Jr. said the referendum or dual citizenship referendum is not dead, it is alive, and it is good for the economy. It didn't go through because the referendum process bordered on illegality. This was confirmed by many Liberian legal minds. Also, Mr. Emmanuel Charles Dudu said the fingers for the failure of the referendum should be pointed at the government.
Well, I don't want to say, I think it's a collective thing, every one of us that were involved. Yes, we say the government, but at this point, we all need to sit down. Even we that's in the advocacy or dual, we also need to sit down and see where we made a mistake. I mean, where we all fail, and we want to improve ourselves, reach out to the government and all parties involved, including the civil society, the market women, the students, and we all can regroup to come up for the next referendum. Because remember, Dennis, I told you guys, and we still remain, that the permanent solution to dual citizenship is through a referendum changing Article 28 of the Constitution. And we have to have that either next year or the year after. So we are preparing ourselves for the next referendum.
Okay, before we bring in one caller, there's a comment here, which I think we dealt with in previous show. Why prioritize referendum when there are more dire situations and pressing issues in the country than modifying or amending the Constitution? That's from Ben Millen Wilson.
No, Ben, everybody got a priority. You all can be football, other one can be basketball, it can be prayer. We believe that the development of Liberia requires dual citizenship. That's what we believe, and that's what we are advocating for. You go ahead with what you consider as a priority. To us, dual citizenship is a priority.
All right, let's bring in our next caller. That's the former EULA Youth Wing Chairman, Mr. Gagon Moe. Gagon, you are live. Gagon Moe, you are live.
Yes, how you doing, Mr. John Anthony?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Fine, thank you, Mr. Wettee.
Gagon.
Liberia safety.
Gagon.
Those that, yeah, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, although that the fight for dual citizenship, like I have always told you, the issue is a non-issue to the Liberian body politic. And I think with what you just mentioned, that there were 4 pillars to the argument of dual citizenship. I think, yes, there were 4 attempts to try to achieve the issue that was resolved in December 2019. that there is no automatic loss of citizenship. It was resolved in the Liberian Supreme Court.
That's correct.
The issue is a dead issue. Now, you just indicated on here that you're supposed to, we tried, I was there with you when we tried reaching out, running after Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her administration to pass an executive order, because this issue was executive order, the Alien and Nationality Act, which violated the Constitution. Now, the issue you were pushing, that issue wasn't up for discussion in 2012 when we met in D.C. The issue of restricting Liberian citizens, natural born Liberians, to contest for elections, to only serve as an assistant and not higher positions than that. We never advocated for that issue because I was in the audience and I was sitting right there. We never advocated for that issue. The issue that you and others are pushing right now, that's something that came from nowhere, that was never made public. It was even when the conference was held in 2020 in DC. I attended that conference, and the issue was even said in front of you by some of your speakers that it doesn't make sense. Even the lawyer that was there from Liberia, he said it doesn't make sense. But yet you guys are still pushing this dead subject. You cannot be pushing for dual citizenship when it's violating the rights of Liberians. We need to stop that. That's that law that was written by whomever. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, we want you to conclude, Gakon. We are running out of time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that law that you were pushing for, it was rejected by the Liberian people. And even if it was passed, it was still going to be unconstitutional because it still violates the rights of natural born Liberian citizens. You created a law that had no restriction to people who naturalized and who came from Lebanon and other places, but you only restricting natural born Liberians. So it was going to be a violation. But just going forward, if you guys decide to keep pushing this issue, the issue of referendum is a major campaign. That's why I asked about fundraising effort. It's like you're running for president. You have to go in every country, every house, you got to go in there and campaign.
All right, Gakon.
I think.
We want you to conclude. I mean, you made your point. Please conclude quickly.
Yeah. So that is my point. You know, people keep advocating, but the issue that July in 2012 that we met, just for the record, that issue was settled in the Liberian Supreme Court. There's no automatic relationship.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Dennis,
and I'm sure Mr.
All right, go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, if I don't answer any question, I want to answer more question. This is the split of within and among ourselves. In 2012, when we met, we discussed the 4 pillars, the 4 plan, the 4 platform to get dual citizenship. Referendum was one. We said the only way you can permanently define dual citizenship, is through changing Article 28. That's the path we're going to. The lawmakers, the Liberian lawmakers, when they got ready to do the referendum, they put in those restrictions. It was not Emmanuel Wettee. It was not Vama Fofana. It was not Afresie. It was not Frank Carter. It was not Wilmer Cooney. It was not Anthony Cassidy. It was the very lawmaker from CPP and CDC.
Mr. Wettee, all the people you didn't call a female.
Thank you. Let me see. Okay, it was not Tyler Miller. It was not Roberta Rashid. It was not Madie that put this thing in. It was the very lawmakers from CPP and CDC that put in those restrictions in the referendum. We didn't make it. We don't have the constitutional authority.
They say you should have rejected that.
I come in, sir. We made a case that yes, we ourselves on your show and many platforms, we came and said, look, we do not like the restriction. We said that. But however, we're going to accept this process and hoping to improve it the next time. We said that. What else can we do? What else can we do? People just tell me. We never agree on it. look, I mean, let's be frank. Let's be frank.
Mr.
We
Wettee,
never agree on this thing.
That's true. Let's move on to your next step.
Let move on. I was not in the House and the Senate that passed the resolution. I do not have the constitutional authority. It was your CDC lawmaker and your CPP lawmakers. Why can't you hold them responsible? Why are you coming to us? Ladies and gentlemen, let's be fair. Let's drop the politics. It is not Wettee. It's not Vama. It's not even George Weah. It was not Weah that did it. Let's be fair to each other. Everything is politics. It's the same lawmakers that in the House and the Senate. Help me, God. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Wettee. Let's go to your next steps. Now, you kind of hinted, you even have a prep or a publication that's saying what your next step will be. So since the referendum was rejected in all 15 counties, meaning that not one of those counties reached the threshold of 2/3, what are the next steps?
Well, the next step, we still going to pursue the president to give executive order. But the key thing is that we're going to ask the lawmakers to repeal the alien and nationality law, and we are going to the Supreme Court to challenge the constitutionality of Section 22.1 of the Constitution. I mean, of the alien and nationality law. These are the two things that we're going to do. Then, while we're on it, we are going to be preparing ourselves for the next referendum in 2022 or 2023. But for now, our focus is to repeal the alien and nationality law. That's what we're going to be focusing on. That's our next step. And in between there, we're going to find the opportunity to challenge the law in court.
Mr. Wettee, during your first campaign, you left a lot of people on the wayside. We have people coming from the United States, diaspora Liberians, some with American passport that were campaigning against this. What are you going to do differently to have more people under your umbrella?
Well, as we already started the hearing process, I called George Lopo here at We Talk. I just emailed him some document. I've called Zakama and other people that had differences with us. We sharing document with them. We're going to reach out to everybody. Are you
going to reach out to Cesar Goya? He was not happy with the proposal.
Oh, yeah, but Cesar Goya is, as a matter of fact, Cesar Goya is the chairman of the Citizenship in Minnesota. So yes, we'll reach out to all of these people. We are going to reach out to everybody and so that we can all find a common ground. You know, the key thing is this. Those people were not against dual citizenship. That's the center point of our advocacy. We may have a different path. Cesar Goya is not against dual citizenship. George Lopo is not against dual citizenship. Zakama is not against it. They just express the issue of the restriction.
And I think that where your big mistake was, Mr. Wettee. It's like these people were not against dual citizenship, but you refused to listen to any one of them.
I didn't listen to them. On your show, I listened to them. I agree with them that the restrictions were not good. They were not fair to natural-born Liberians. As a matter of fact, the laws make it that a Ghanaian or naturalized Ghanaian have more right than a colleague who are naturalized born in Liberia and naturalized. I agree with them. I didn't disagree with them. I just said, let them move ahead with the referendum and we can come back and correct it. Never. I too oppose the restrictions. Even the entire leadership of EULA, the entire leadership of the advocates oppose the restrictions. But we believe that the referendum will come to give a step forward and we can correct it. So never we ever agree on the restrictions.
There is this comment and this thing keep popping up. So I want you to address it if you have any information on this. Francis Wilson said nobody or platform has spoken to the fact that the First Lady voted in the senatorial election. Would be interested to know why nobody has addressed this issue. So talking about dual citizenship, I think the charge here is the First Lady is voting as a dual citizen. I don't know if you know anything, if this is something that
I'm not aware of the citizenship of the First Lady. I don't know if she voted or not. I'm not aware. If you got proof, you can go ahead with your campaign, but I'm not aware of that.
And it's
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's talking about next steps. You talk about executive order. By executive order, my little understanding is you're going to lobby with the executive branch of government to issue that order. And why are you seeking that order to change?
Well, let me say that our 4 plans are parallel plans.
Mm-hmm.
They don't cross each other. They're independent of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So one is to have our executive order. We're also going to be asking our lawmakers to repeal the alien and nationality law. We're also going to find the opportunity to challenge the constitutionality of Section 22.1 at the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
So the executive order would be like, okay, right now, the law says that if you have an American passport and you go and apply for a Liberian passport, they will not give you because you are a dual person. Mm-hmm. So the executive order would be that, look, we're not going to execute that. The government will not execute that. The government, when you come, you say you're a Liberian, they're just going to go ahead and just give you your passport.
But that's a temporary solution. Why are you going that route?
Because well, it's a temporary solution, but it add additional gasoline in the car. You know, it gives us the spirit that we are getting closer.
And you think the executive mansion going to listen to you?
We don't know. Eddie Johnson said he did not listen to us. She didn't.
And why you think Joshua will listen to you this time?
I'm just saying that part of the advocate we're going to try. We're going to try. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, we go to the lawmaker to repeal it. If it doesn't work, we go to the Supreme Court. If it doesn't work, we wait for 2022, 2023 and go a referendum.
Have you done your research to see whether there will be some constitutional issues along the way for this executive order?
That's what I'm saying. Advocacy is not an event; it's a process. Mm-hmm. It takes many stages. Right. So we are trying everything. Our goal is to get dual citizenship for natural born Liberians and dual born of Liberian heritage. That's our goal.
How can you say you don't know if the president would support this? If the president was on a billboard campaigning for dual citizenship?
Well, I didn't say. I said we're going to try it, and we're going to try him.
No, but the president is in support of the president.
Yeah, he's supported, but we are not approaching.
So why are you not confident about the executive order?
No, I'm on this show right now, and these strategies sometimes our own poor, our own enemies. So we want to hold on. I'm just telling the plan. When we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, that's another phase.
Do you know some of these enemies?
Well, when you in these things, it comes with the territory. You know, you should expect it.
Did you rather me to use the word eminent? No,
I don't want to. That's a word I want to take off the table. Those are that take off the table is not a right word. Those may have different views than us. So I take that off the table. My apology.
Here is former ULA board chair, former ULA president, Mr. Wilmer Cooney saying.
No, don't forget his other title. Disclaimer. Chief political analyst here, focus on Liberia as well.
Right. He's saying, I just want to say a big thank you to Emmanuel Wettee for his enormous sacrifices on behalf of all of us in the diaspora. Mr. Wettee, in my village, they say, pepper and salt will never say anything bad about dry rice because they both complement each other. What do we expect from Mr. Cooney?
You expect Mr. Cooney to support me 2,000%, and I'll do the same for him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Focus on Liberia. You are watching our Saturday special, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Anthony here along with my partner, Dennis Jad. Today, I am at the headquarters of Focus on Liberia, and what a program we are having with His Eminent Emmanuel S. Wettee. The gentleman went to Liberia. He has been in this advocacy of trying to get dual citizenship for all Liberians across the world. He believes that once a Liberian is always a Liberian, but unfortunately for Emmanuel S. Wettee or son-in-law, that effort was rejected by the Liberian people. But he's saying
it was slowed down. It was not rejected.
They got some numbers, even though those numbers were not good enough to get him to that mountaintop. But he's hopeful. He said they have made a giant step forward, and that something will happen. So, His Eminent, your next step, we just talked about executive order repealing the alien and nationality law. Tell me the process of doing so, sir.
Okay, the alien nationality law, we're going to go to the lawmakers Remember now, it was in 1974 that the lawmakers adopted that law. So what we're going to do is that we have already drafted something that we're sharing with them for the view. We're going to tell them, say, look, section 22.1 and 22.2 should be worded different ways. It shouldn't stop us from getting our it shouldn't stop us from being dual citizen. So our legal team working on the wordings and the kind of document that we're going to be sending. So the repeating we have to do with the lawmakers through the executive branch, and that's what we're going to be working with President Weah and his office and his team to work with the lawmakers to repeal the alien and nationality law. So the executive branch of government and the legislative branch of government, the two branches of government, we're going to be working with them to help repeal that law. That's the process.
Mr. Wettee, are you not beating a dead horse? Because by virtue of the 1986 Constitution, it says any law that is inconsistent with this is null and void. So who's using this alien nationality law anyway? It's been dead ever since.
Well, in 2014, Dr. Elizabeth Davis was rejected being Minister of Education when she said that I have an American passport. The Liberian Senate rejected her from confirmation hearing for being Minister of Education. So
did she challenge it?
Say that again?
Did she challenge that?
Oh, she was appointed by President Johnson Sirleaf.
Right, I mean, when they rejected her, did she challenge it based on?
No. She said no. She doesn't work with it.
But let's go back to our phone line.
Yeah.
Before we get to the phone line, let me read a few comments. There's one here from Minerva Grant. She's also part of EULA. He said, I want to have the right to vote and have the right to own land. Also, Stephen Sewon said there was no CPP in 2012 through 2017, sir. So meaning the dual citizenship had been rejected before. So why are you putting the blame on the CDC?
Well, there was no referendum between 2012 and 2017. There was no referendum. This is the first referendum on dual citizenship. So John
Mason said the people in the diaspora must protest by cutting off all remittances. Is that something you have on the table?
No, we don't have that on the table. We believe that our people need us. We believe that we can be helpful to our people. I mean, I understand his frustration. I understand his point, but we believe that in the best interest, we are supporting our parents. You know, they got to go to school, they got to go to the hospital, they got to get something to eat. So and the economy depends on us. Yes, many people are calling for us to, call for a boycott. Stop. No, we can't do that. We can't encourage that. Our people need us. And remember, despite the fact that we were rejected, there are people that voted for us, and we need to understand that.
He rejected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam Wallace said, let's take this last comment, and then we'll have our next caller. Mr. Sam Wallace said, the advocate took the right approach. This is about continuous improvement. That's he said you did it right thing, Mr. Wettee.
Thank you, boss. At least somebody recognize that advocacy is not an event, it's a process. And thank you, Sam, for recognizing that. And we're going to correct our mistakes and move forward. Everything. And one thing before we close, I want to say one thing to this public. I want to thank the Liberian people.
We are not closing. We are not closing. We want to bring in another eminent, Wilmon Wettee Cooney. Mr. Cooney is also the senior political analyst right here on Focus on Liberia. He wears so many hats, but I want to think that the EULA hat is going to show more. Mr. Cooney, you are live.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you to my great moderator in studio, Asani, and of course, a big thank you to Emmanuel Wettee. I've already made a comment recognizing the contribution of Emmanuel Wettee. I think he's one of the greatest soldiers for diaspora Liberians, and many people appreciate that, and a few other people may not appreciate it. But if you look at the sacrifices that Emmanuel Wettee has made over the period to this cause of dual citizenship, is unparalleled to any of us in that area of advocacy. And I agree with him, even though we did not meet the threshold for the referendum to pass. But for those of us that have been in advocacy from the beginning to this point, I can recall when we went to Liberia to introduce for the first time public radio. Out of about 20 calls that we received on the radio, we have 1 call that was in between and 19 calls that rejected dual citizenship. So to take that advocacy from that period, from that point, to a point where at least we can say majority of Liberians support dual citizenship, even though we did not meet the threshold, I think it's a huge accomplishment. And so I want to encourage Emmanuel, Wettee, and all other Liberians to come together. You know, we shouldn't wait when we hit a failure before we are awakened. Let us try to always recognize our common interest and to work for it and to advocate for it. Because it is not for one person's interest. So now that we've gotten this reality check, all of the other people that have their own ideas to make this process work, they should come on board. Like we said, we were never for the restrictions that were placed in the document. But if you advocate and the advocates take your advocacy to the floor of the legislature, you're not there again to tell and guide them as to what to do. The problem that came from them, that what we work with. So nobody advocated for the restriction. So now we're in a better position for us to work together again. But the final point I want to make, the executive order, because other people have concern about what would be the use of the executive order. The executive order can bring some quick help to the Liberian people. For example, 2017, when I met with President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf as U.S. president, I specifically requested her that, at least as a show of good faith to diaspora Liberians that are supporting Nigeria, the governor of Liberia should waive visa fee. At least that we can accomplish by executive order. They don't have to charge the legislature. Waive the visa fee. And that we see that what will do for Liberians in the diaspora. Our people are traveling huge distances to just get a visa to go to their own country. So that's one of the things we can do. Then, of course, you talk about the passport requirement. You know, with those things, those are not permanent solutions, but they are good gestures that can impact our people greatly. And I think the executive order would be appropriate in our area while we are pursuing the other remedies. So again, I mean, Wettee, thank you. Focus on Liberia. I'm so proud to be a part of you guys, and I'm always excited to be on Focus, either as an analyst or as a calling guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Coney. Let's read a few more comments as we near the conclusion of the show tonight. Amara V. Toure Jr. again said the acceptance of dual nationality in Liberia is a matter of if, but I believe you want to say it's not the matter of if, but it's the matter of when. Other comparative countries such as Ghana have gone beyond to people who have African connections, such as African Americans. And then on the cotton remittances, Gaga Mwese, who you think is going to hurt? Sisse Goya says, I will continue to send remittances to Liberia because my people voted to protect my right. John Mason, Liberia would not develop quickly without dual citizenship. John Mason also saying that Josh Weir and Alexander Cummings have U.S. citizenship. We don't know that for a fact, so we're not going to comment on that. Harrison Wettee, who is going to tell me not to support my daughter and family members in Liberia? That man or woman has not been born yet. Whoever asked you to stop giving money to Costa? That's another territory. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're going to be ending the show briefly, but we have a few more things to cover.
All right, let's take that caller right away.
Okay, we want to take one more caller.
Yes, hello?
Yes, hello. Your name and where you calling from?
This is Martin Zenway calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Martin, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Your question or comment?
Yes, Mr. Wettee. This is Martin from Cleveland.
Yeah, Martin, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Thank you for the work done. You know, thank you for everything you're doing on behalf of us in the diaspora. And my only advice to you moving forward would be, you know, we'd like to ask you to please try to work with those other groups who are against. I know you said it in your comment. Well, let's try to unite here first, you know, because we were fighting against ourselves, you know, or fighting among ourselves. And I think that was one of the major problems with, you know, pushing for this dual citizenship, you know.
But and then try to bring some new faces too on board. So try to bring some new faces on board. So we can take it for every different angle. We don't have to keep going through the politicians. I watched few shows where people were talking, go to some of these intellectual centers. Get different people who go into Liberia to try to push this. But first thing, we need to unite here. And some of us are here. If you need us, I know we talk sometimes. Call. We may not have the time to get there, but we can give advice. We can support. If we have the time, we'll be waiting to help. But we need to unite and we need to fight together. If we fight against each other, that will only create more problems for us. But thank you for your advocacy. I know as a former leader, I know the sacrifices take. The sacrifices take. Thank you to your family too. For allowing you to give up their time, to fight on our behalf. So thank you. We shouldn't take this as a loss. Take it as a learning experience. At least the message is out. More Liberians that I talk to back home that know about dual citizenship, and they're in the interest of dual citizenship. We just need to work together. Thank you. Thank you to Focus on Africa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Wettee, I have a question to piggyback on what he said, but first, Moses say you did not listen to the people that have contrary view, rather you were making excuses.
Well, we're not making excuses. We Dennis and Mr. C, both of you nailed me to the wall many times here. And I said over and over and again, we rejected the restrictions. We don't like the restrictions, but we felt that the path was the right path and those going to be corrected. Never, ever, we ever said that we supported the restrictions. And we want to make that very clear. So referendum was one of our 4 pillars, and we had to go through it. Yes, we didn't like the restrictions, but we had to go ahead, and we already landed. But please, for the record, let people know, Dennis, you beat me. Mr. C beat me on it, and I said it. We don't like it, but that's what we're going to have and move on.
Sam Waller is saying there are long-standing exceptions and privileges that make it possible for a first lady, in this case, to have been awarded citizenship. There were many Liberian officials prior to 1980 whose wives were foreign nationals, and they were awarded Liberian citizenship by the president. I think maybe A. Doris Banks-Hendricks and the rest could be examples. But Mr. Wettee or Mr. Mountain Z spoke about how you've been involved in this for so long. So you started this very long, and it has not worked. Do you see yourself stepping aside and allowing some fresh legs to come in?
Oh yes. Yes. I see myself stepping aside. If you know my history in leadership, I always leave the stage when they're clapping. I was one of those that went one time president of the union, and I didn't go the second time. After I got the DED straightened up, I left the stage. And at the appropriate time, yes, we're going to leave the stage. In fact, we are talking, we're going to leave the stage. And the next generation advocacy is not an event, it's a process. I can tell you the truth, the referendum took away a lot of things from me. A lot of things, personal things away from me. And I don't see myself participating in another referendum. Like, I've been the leader of that. So yes, we at the rightful time. There'll be new breed people coming. In fact, we just talking about the next campaign for the referendum, which I will not be heading. The 22 or 23 referendum, I will not be heading that. We're trying to look for new people that will come in to take care of that. Maybe I may just start the process of repeating the alien nationality law, and based on that, I may take my exit and other people will come in. Leadership is good when they're clapping for you on the stage. You leave, because when they start clapping, they're going to start booing you. So I know that for a fact.
Bendu Kromase, if she truly wanted to contribute to her homeland, she can give up her citizenship, Mr. Wettee. My concern here is, where will the loyalty of American holding permanent offices lie? Another comment here from Mr. Josh Toto. I don't believe dual citizenship was rejected because of a lot of awareness. It gets caught in the political trap that was set in the referendum. Mr. Toto, that you can give more? I don't.
I don't understand. Maybe his colleague here, Emmanuel, Wettee, can explain. And by the way, my understanding is that Mr. George Toto went to Liberia, and he on your team, His Eminence?
George Toto is a permanent member of our team. As a matter of fact, for the record, George Toto is the first sitting UDA chairman of the board that addressed the Liberian Senate on dual citizenship. Basically, what George Toto is saying that our good apple will mix up with bad apples in the basket, and they get through the entire basket away.
Is this something that you guys rehearsed or talked about previously?
Oh, well, I mean, if you look at it, the Liberian poor have accepted dual citizenship. They know that's something that they want. It's just that our good apple got colored in with other bad apple, and the entire basket was thrown away. Well, that's what
I don't accept that, because those were three. I mean, that's why the Supreme Court says separate them, because we wanted to be clear. So if Liberian wanted dual citizenship, they would have voted for it and reject the rest.
No. The campaign that went on is that they said referendum. They don't say position. The campaign, those that were against us, or CPP said, you vote the entire referendum down, and the instructions just went down the hill.
It's eminent. Would you have gotten a better result had the referendum not been done on the same time of the election?
I think so. I agree with you, because the political weight and the political thing, it really took away the juice. It really took away the attention of the referendum, because people were focusing on the senatorial election and not the referendum. And when it came to that, they just got confused. That's why you saw those invalid votes. Those invalid votes were being valid votes. So I agree with you, and that's the reason why we are trying to see if we can have the referendum next year. If we can't come up with the money, we can't come up with the strategy, then we have to wait for 2023. But we are hoping it will just dual citizenship. It will just be one atom. That's our hope.
Just referendum, and not referendum being conducted at the same time they're conducting elections.
Yeah, but it will just be one. We should be for Article 28 of the Constitution. So you are right. I mean, the result would have been different. Absolutely correct. You are correct.
Let me read two comments, and then we bring in our last caller for the night. Jake Voka said the dilemma was insufficient education. Thanks, Mr. Wettee and colleague. Please keep up the good work. That's from. And then Cisse Goya say you are treading on the wrong path again. This is what he's written. You are starting a new path to dual citizenship executive order without gathering support for other groups and people. Please do not pursue this path until you have consolidated effort with all diaspora groups.
Mr. I said it's a plan. The execution of the plan is different. I'm just saying these are things that we are considering. Those details will come out.
Samuel Hammond said Liberia is becoming brain drained. We know this from the educational system and our students. A dual citizenship will allow diaspora educated Liberians to make meaningful contribution in all areas. The Constitution is divisive. Mr. Wettee, let me add to that. I think that's the problem when dual or diaspora Liberians consider themselves to be more educated than those in Liberia. Your comment?
I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. We advocating what dual citizenship is to help replace the brain drain to brain gain. I don't see us coming in and dominating. It's not how it works. You know, those are things from those that don't support about. We're coming in to employ. We're coming to provide jobs. We're going to provide opportunities. We're coming in to share, and we're coming in to build. We're not coming in to dominate.
Let's get our last caller. That's Ben Jonah, and we'll be ending the show. Go ahead, Ben. You're live.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and also thanks to Mr. Wettee. But I think to be honest, this whole referendum went down because of their politics, and it can be proven very easily because there's every document that was signed by all the legislators, and the same documents you guys came back to tell people not to support. So the question is, why did you sign that document in September of 2019? If in fact you were going to come back to
agent, which does not mean who is leading it. Yes, I understand that there are some bad things that were part of this whole issue. But in fact, the very bad things that were in that document was rejected by these representatives. It's too much in life so that when people that have yet to know anything about this particular document, it is so sad. I have one question. What is enough time for education? Can anyone tell me what is enough time? Because this whole thing started since 1996. More than 1 million have been spent on it. I have a document that was given to this lady who was in New York Times. The amount of money that New York Times was given for education. The same New York Times I said to her education. What did you do with that money?
Yeah.
These people are not honest. They are honest like these people. You must be able to tell us the truth and stop lying.
Thank you.
For having me. Because if you go to the court and you tell the court, say, oh, there was not enough time for education. If the person they put it in action, that is enough time for education. What would you say?
Thank you, Ben.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And Mr. Wettee, you can respond to that. But the last comment for the night is from James David. He said, "Why up to now there is no financial report on the dual citizenship, or is it another labyrinth talk?"
Well, the appropriate organs will get a financial report.
All right.
So the other thing I want to say, the speaker before spoke everything. He told you guys what I said. The CPP and the CDC lawmakers were the one that signed the document a year ago. It was not George Weah. It was not Emmanuel Wettee. It was not Vamba Fofana. It was not Anthony Cassidy. It was not Wilma Cooney. It was not Tyler Miller. And the list goes on. So I hope today we can end this whole thing on the restriction. The restriction were put there by the lawmakers. But before, in my last statement, I know I said that we didn't get cooperation from CPP. We contacted the committee, and we didn't get support. But in this public manner, I want to reach out to CPP lawmakers. We met Senator Darius Data and the Senator for Grand Bassa County, Senator Lawrence, and they all gave us their support to work with us to help to repeal the alien nationality law. So in this public manner, we want to appeal to the CPP lawmakers, the leadership, to help us repeal the alien and nationality law. We're also going to be working with President Weah offices to see how we all can work together to have this law repealed. Let me say thanks to all of our people that supported us in this public manner. Dennis, to say if I offended anybody in the diaspora during the process, I want to say I'm sorry. These things sometimes when you're in it, you get so emotional and you sometimes act otherwise. But in this public manner, if I offended anybody, from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell you I'm sorry. And those that support us in the advocacy, we want you to count on us. We'll count on you. We all will make the corrections and improve the next time. Those of you that have ideas, come on. We're looking for new leadership because sooner or later, whether we like it or not, our ages will catch up with us and we have to leave. So come and be prepared to take over from us. I want to say thanks to FOL, the staff, for the kind of questioning you gave. I mean, you did extremely well. When you first started the show, you started with us. We were one of your original, people. But thanks to everybody. Thanks to Yula, President Fofana, the president in Europe, Canada, Australia, Ghana, President Willie Kamara, our sister Comfort Otoka, and Councilor Riggs from the Liberian Advocacy for Change. That group was very helpful. They came in financially, they came in morally, and they came and supported us all through. I want to say special thanks to that group and to everybody that supported us. To my family, to my friends, to my co-workers that allowed me to leave for 30 days plus to go in there. And special thanks to Councilor Ajibo Bonan. He doesn't let us call his name, but he has been extremely helpful, extremely supportive. And if you think I support dual citizenship, multiply mine by 100%, you know. So thanks to everybody that supported us. May God bless us. May God bless our country. In 2022, we're coming back. Or 2023. Please bless us as we advocate our other path for dual citizenship. Until the last Liberian can give up birth, that the heir can leave them. We're going to advocate for dual citizenship to the very end of the human race.
As Eminem, before you go, I want you to answer this question. I know you gave your closing statement. The chat room for the dual citizenship, I think you put some restriction on it. Are you going to open it up for members in there to contribute?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Thank you, sir, for bringing it up. The only reason why we did that is that we're in the heat of the campaign, and the anti-opposition one people dominated the whole thing, and our message was getting wrapped up into that. But we're gonna open it up. That's right. So thank you very much. We're gonna do that.
All right. That was the voice of Emmanuel, son-in-law Wettee, who has been in this dual citizenship advocacy. His Eminence, thank you so very much. You sacrificed everything to make it happen. And if he had passed, we all will have benefited from it, even though there are some restrictions some of us continue to talk about. But again, you did everything you could in your power. And I personally want to recognize your contribution. That is true advocacy. Dennis?
On that note, I want to say thank you, Mr. Wettee. Thanks to all watching us on YouTube and also on Facebook. Until then, we want to say good night, but we cannot leave you without playing our closing song, which says, "We are all Liberians." Whether you support the referendum, whether you believe it was rejected or it did not pass, or that it was a good start, we are all Liberians, and we must do whatever it takes to make Liberia that glorious land of liberty.
We are. We are.